This weekend will begin and end with completely different weather.
It's Hampton Roads, isn't it? Jeff, we're starting off with a cold one.
Yeah, we are. Temperatures are already in most locations down into the 20s, and that doesn't even factor in the wind chill. A little bit of precipitation around even into early afternoon. A couple of flurries, definitely some snow showers before that after the rain had changed, but that's all long gone now. We're talking clear skies again down to 27 already, and that northerly wind easing up enough that the wind chills are still only down in the mid-teen only. That is definitely, again, rather cold, but it could be worse. You can see at midnight, we're going to be talking about wind chills still in the mid-teens. Temperatures then, as we go into the overnight, drop down even more. And this is the coastline and or urban locations. So we'll drop down into the lower 20s and the wind chills will stay in the low teens. But then as you can see by tomorrow, we start to see, once the sun comes up, a little bit of a rise. Let's talk about the more rural areas and notice how the temperatures go a little bit lower. I think we'll bottom out probably 17 or so in a lot of rural spots, but the wind chill's not a whole lot different than right at the coastline. So a cold start to the day. Then we have some warming air going into Sunday. That means rain. I'll tell you more coming up.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
Ditching Hampton Roads, not the region, the name.
This week, local tourism leaders gathered for the Coastal Virginia Hospitality Expo.
One idea they threw around for boosting business may be calling Hampton Roads something else. Robert Boyce tells us what's in a name.
Well, I'm inside Waterside, one of many spots across Hampton Roads that relies heavily on those tourism dollars. A lot of businesses we spoke with said if a name change brings more people to the area, they're all for it.
Step to the register, we need some customers.
The girls of the Fudgery at Waterside say they love singing to attract customers, but also acknowledge there could be other ways to boost business.
We want people to come here and see us and buy our fudge. So if that means changing the name, then we're definitely about that.
The name that is coming into question, Hampton Roads.
If we were to include something like the coast or beach, maybe people would be more involved or want to come visit if that was, part of the name.
We spoke with a woman who was visiting Portsmouth for a work conference. When she found out the area was called Hampton Roads, she didn't know what to think.
Well, I think about the Outer Banks. You immediately picture I can see the map in my head when I think it, and then you think of the Crystal Coast in South Carolina.
Legend Brewing Depot of Portsmouth admits the name Hampton Roads doesn't exactly scream fun or beauty or beach to people who aren't from here.
When I think about Hampton Roads, the only thing that I think that combines all the cities is the interstate system. I guess when you think about it that way, then it doesn't really seem very sexy or really draw you in.
One of the suggested name changes is Coastal Virginia, but lifelong residents aren't so ready to just give up decades of tradition.
I like Hampton Roads. I've grown up with it, and I know it as affiliated with naval might, superiority. That's Hampton Roads to me.
Then there's Michael Fitzgerald of the Norfolk Tap Room. He says 30% of his customers are from out of town. He'd love to double that number, but he doesn't think a name change will make a difference.
I just think there are other things you could do in the area other than changing the name to increase tourism. I don't think we do enough individual marketing of what the cities actually have to offer.
In Hampton Roads, for the time being, Robert Boyd, 13 News Now.
Well, huge changes are already here for the Port of Virginia. Literally, today, 6 massive new cranes were delivered to the port in Portsmouth. They arrived aboard an even larger ship, the Happy Buccaneer from Poland. The cranes are part of an expansion that will attract a lot more business to Hampton Roads over the next 2 years. 86 cranes will be delivered to the Port of Virginia and Norfolk International Terminals.
The motor carrier service will improve because we'll have more lanes to deliver the cargo to the trucks. We'll have more capacity to move the cargo to the rail.
6 cranes that arrived today will start operating in April. As for the Happy Buccaneer, it will return to Poland to pick up 6 new cranes for Hampton Roads in the coming weeks.
He has millions of followers on social media. And during these tense times between citizens and police, he's found a way to break barriers as an officer.
Tommy Norman from Arkansas is reaching people all around the world, but tonight he's sharing his message in person in Portsmouth. Chinuher has the story you'll see only on 13 News Now.
If you use social media, you probably have heard of Officer Tommy Norman from Arkansas. He's somewhat of an internet sensation, but as people in Portsmouth found out tonight, he's so much more than that. It's his message that has won people all over the country.
Anybody, an everyday person, can go out and make a difference.
He's captured the attention of people all across the country and the world. From viral videos to inspirational messages, Officer Tommy Norman from Arkansas has become someone with a voice that people want to listen to.
It's people that some of society turn their backs on, and those are people that I gravitate to and try to lift up.
Officer Norman made his way to Portsmouth Friday, partnering with nonprofit Believe, Pray, Overcome to speak to the community about his beliefs and methods when it comes to having relationships with residents as an officer.
I figured I'll bring him here to talk about how he was able to engage the community, how he has effectively community police. That way we can take that back to the table in our area.
They want to form relationships here and lift people up the same way I do back home. And so our vision was the same. Just a big honor to travel here.
Cuneo Futrell has followed Officer Norman's work and has long admired his mission. She believes in a time when there's been tension between citizens and police officers, Officer Norman has been able to break barriers.
In the news that we've seen in recent years, we've seen so many white officers killing, many black men and black children. And so it's important that we see now that it's not all of them. Although we hear people say it, it's important that we see that it's not all of them.
Take away the social media, the lights, the applauses. Officer Norman from Arkansas is a simple man with a simple message.
Love is powerful, yet it's so simple. And I never really grown up, never really had a craft or a trade, was really never good at much, but I knew how to love people, and I haven't stopped.
In Portsmouth, Chinu Hurt, 13 News Now.
A traffic alert for the weekend. You need to prepare for some lane closures on Shore Drive in Virginia Beach. Traffic on the Lesnar Bridge will go down to one lane in each direction tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Crews will be doing concrete work. They may also stop traffic at the bridge altogether at certain times. All work is expected to be clear by 10 o'clock tomorrow night. The CDC's latest report shows flu season is getting worse. It's estimated that 1 out of every 14 visits to doctors are for flu symptoms. That's the highest level since 2009. Local senior living facilities are doing what they can to prevent the spread of the flu. At Commonwealth Senior Living in Chesapeake, they are reminding everyone to wash their hands before and after visiting. They are also trying to limit the number of visitors, and seniors who have the flu, they stay in their rooms until they are better. The CDC report shows hospital stays because of the flu are also up. The flu usually peaks this month.
The tragic death of a 1-year-old in Matthews County is under investigation. The sheriff's office says the boy was scalded by hot water in a bathtub. Emergency crews took the boy from a home on John Clayton Memorial Highway yesterday. Officials say the boy's mom left him in the tub, and when she returned, the hot water was on and the child was face down in the water. Neighbors say it is a heartbreaking situation.
A whole bunch of cars. I didn't know what was going on. Sad. I just can't imagine how the family feels.
Both Matthews County Social Services and the Sheriff's Office are investigating. So far, no one has been arrested.
New information tonight about the Las Vegas shooting. Investigators have charged a man accused of selling ammo to the gunman. Douglas Haig of Arizona is charged with illegally making armor-piercing bullets. Unfired bullets were found inside the Las Vegas hotel room where the attack was launched last October. But it's not clear if the Haig's bullets were actually the ones used in the attack.
He pulled up, very well dressed, very well groomed, very polite, very respectful, told me what he wanted. I gathered it up, put it in a box, told him what he owed me. He paid me, put it in his car, and drove away. At no time did I see anything suspicious.
Haig maintains he had nothing to do with the mass shooting. Tonight, Los Angeles police are still trying to figure out where a 12-year-old girl got the gun used in a middle school shooting. The handgun was not registered. Police say the 12-year-old has an attorney who was not answering their questions. They believe yesterday's shooting was an accident. A single gunshot was fired from inside the girl's backpack. 2 teens were hit but should recover. 2 other students and a staff member were hit by broken glass.
More controversy in the Russia investigation. President Trump declassified a memo written by the House Intelligence Committee and made public today. The committee chairman, Republican Devin Nunes, says there is no evidence of collusion between President Trump and Russia. Nunes is leading a House investigation, but the panel has not yet issued its report. The memo is critical of a surveillance warrant in the Russia probe. The FBI director opposed the release of the memo. Many Democrats agreed, saying the memo is misleading.
Fired employee who sent a false missile alert in Hawaii says he's devastated about causing panic, but he thought it was a real attack. He says he has had trouble eating and sleeping since the incident. The man is in his 50s. He spoke to reporters today but would not give his name because he has received threats. He says the call he received last month did not sound like a drill. State officials say other workers clearly heard the word exercise repeated several times. The man was fired. The Federal Reserve is hitting Wells Fargo with more penalties over the fake account scandal. The Fed is freezing the bank's growth until it can prove it has improved its internal operations. The bank will also replace 4 board members. Wells Fargo employees opened more than 3 million fake accounts in order to meet sales quotas. The bank has already paid $185 million to regulators and $142 million to settle a class action lawsuit.